feel about that? Is that your good side?
This is my sexy side right here, baby.
Last time I talked to you before the call, congratulations on that.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Number one, must have been amazing. What was the first day like?
Oh man, it was great. It almost felt like, you know, they bring you in, you feel like you're like a fan for a day, and then, you know, after the game, it feels like they're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna need that jersey back. Yeah. But, you know, luckily I walked in the second day and my jersey was still hung up, so I guess that was a good sign.
Hell yeah. Last we spoke, you hadn't had any experience with the A2K. I saw you out there picking it with it.
You're right, yeah.
So what's the difference? What are you seeing as far as A2K versus A2000?
Well, I'm always different because I always came up an outfielder, so I always put 2 in the pink, and then my fingers sit like over a little bit, so it's not really quite where that finger should be. But yeah, the H-Web definitely has some good give to it. I mean, I used this all last year, but I haven't even had to, you know, restring it or anything. But I felt like it definitely had some, you know, good picks around, you know, the second base bag, especially from catchers and stuff like that. I felt like, you know, in the palm right here, I was able to pick balls rather than, you know, the A2000 is still good, but, you know, I feel like this was able to give a little bit more.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, some balls that would pop out, you know, around this area, I was actually, you know, able to swap them up with the A2K.
Yeah. So what do you see? Like, what is the difference as far as materials that it feels to you? Because I've heard different people say different things about what they think is really the difference.
Yeah. See, sometimes in your mind when you're out there, you always have to have confidence in your glove. You know, and I was always A2000 in college. I was A2000, and then last year when I went to the A2K, it just felt comfortable. You know, I didn't order one this year, but I think I'm probably going to use this one again for, you know, the same reasons, just because it's a little wider too. Sometimes when you get with the A2000, it just gets a little too skinny for me.
Okay.
So, you know, balls like going back, you know, to my left or to my right, you know, I just have a little bit more comfortability, you know, with this glove. You know, sometimes you get comfortable with your own gloves and that's what you want to stick with.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. You got to feel like it's an extension of your hand more so than you know, a glove. But Dansby mentioned to me, another Vandy boy, he mentioned that he did not like the A2K because, well, not that he didn't like it, but that he preferred the A2000 because he thought it was a little thick.
Really?
He said that the heel felt a little thick. I think there's differences in every glove. Like, I think every glove can be a little subtle differences, but
especially with the leather too.
Yeah. Do you think have you noticed that at all?
You know what? I feel like this, you know, he is right, because in this right here, obviously, because I'm getting throws from third and I'm getting throws from deep in the hole from short and the catcher. Yeah. So from second, I feel like I need that little bit more padding. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously,
guys are throwing 90 down.
Yeah, he gets balls from like the catcher or from second, but that's usually flips, or it's not, you know, balls coming as hard as they can. But yeah, I feel like, you know, that little bit more protection is what I need right here. Like, if you can feel right there, that's what I need, right, all in these fingers right here. You know, sometimes you use this glove and you can feel, see right here, where it's getting a little thin, but that's what he likes.
So that was at the Boost Icon too? Is that
these are the Boost Icon 2s.
What do you think about the Adidas in general?
Definitely good. They take care of their guys for sure. Adidas has definitely come up. You know, I was always a Nike guy coming from high school to college and then going into the pro ranks. But yeah, I decided to sign with Adidas 3 years ago, and you know, that was probably one of the better decisions I made. And,
really? Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just all comfort in the foot, and like, their customer service is top notch. And you know, you hear some guys at Under Armour or Nike or whoever they're with, and you know, they have such a big base that they can't be personable with their players. And I feel like Adidas has been able to, you know, put their product out there and hone in on the players that they really feel like have, you know, good talent, major league talent, and then they give it their 100%, you know, with their customers. So, you know, Matt Holzman, one of the top guys who really believe in the product. Back when I was in the Futures game, he was like, hey, we're gonna start this and we're gonna make it big. And you know, obviously signing Correa, Chris Bryant's, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they signed Chris Archer too.
So so Archer came over from Under Armour. So yeah, they definitely are making some big adjustments.
Yeah, and I think the actual product itself is making a big adjustment too. Not that they existed in baseball, but they were never something that had any relevance as far as like the baseball culture. If you had an Adidas cleat, it was rare. It wasn't something that a lot of people had, but
for sure.
But now, I mean, I'm seeing them a lot.
Yeah, you're seeing them around, man.
And so the Boost Icon 2 is your preference. Is this? Are you gonna try something new this year?
No, man. You know, for speed guys that are quicker guys are gonna steal bags. Guys that need to, you know, leg those doubles out into triples. I feel like the Icon 2 is, you know, the cleat of choice just because it's lighter on the foot and with the ankle sleeve. It's got one of those things that it feels like a low, even though it's a mid cleat, it feels like a low cleat, but with that extra like cushion around here that's got protection, so your ankle doesn't feel too wobbly outside of that outside of that cleat. But
but you get flexibility.
You get flexibility too. I mean, you saw me out there at second. It just, you know, it feels good. You know, I put these cleats on 3 days, and my feet haven't hurt yet. You know, usually you got to break Nikes in, or
so
you got to.
Yeah, that's what I hear a lot of people tell me that. A lot of people say that, and I feel like I remember, you know, oh well, yeah, you got to break cleats in. I think we were so used to Nikes, maybe. That was normal for them, but I mean, I've heard people New Balance say that. I've heard people from Adidas say that you don't need to break them.
No, and
you shouldn't have to break them.
And prime example, you know, Colin Moran's with Nike, and he had to break his in a little bit. His feet have been hurting for the past couple days and stuff like that. But yeah, man,
you shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, Adidas has definitely been coming up in the world. They have the speed runners too. I have those on certain occasions. But the power alleys are I feel like the power alleys they're a upper cleat. They're a high cleat, more for pitchers, more for power guys. I feel like that's why they're called the power alleys. And I feel like Preston Tucker prefers the power alleys over the Icons because he feels like the Icons are too light. But Preston Tucker is a power hitter, so you know, I feel like that's how you got give and take. So they've definitely been hitting their customers in the right way.
I mean, they're getting everybody. So how about those bands? You got a whole lot of stuff going on the wrist here. What's the meanings of all these?
So we got my neighbor gave me this wristband. She just sent it to me. We've been neighbors for like 15 years, and it just says "Just keep going." Just a little reminder. Just, you know, the season gets long and stuff like that. So whenever you look down, hey, just keep going. When you're on game 50, game 148, whatever it may be, just keep going. We got Courageous Colby. This is for this girl that, you know, I met her in Tri-City right when I got drafted, and she had a disease, mitochondrial disease, and you know, she's still fighting surgeries and stuff like that. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I was able to get her tickets and stuff, you know, to games and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man.
I feel like even when you have this on at your worst days, like, you always know that, you know, Colby's still fighting for her life, and you know, whatever she's doing out there, you can't say that your life is that bad in that realm, if you understand what I'm saying.
Of course.
And then we got, you know, the I Am Second, which is probably my favorite band. You know, it's the meaning, like, hey, like, if we're friends, like, hey, I come second to you because, you know, that's how God is. God always put, you know, his people in front of himself and stuff. And so, you know, whether it be relationships, whether it be family, like, I always, you know, like to put people before myself. That's just how I've been my whole life. And fight. So this was one of the bands given when we had chapel, and it stands for faith, integrity, grit, home, and trust. So it's kind of got a couple little meanings to that right there, and
you got a lot to fall back on.
Yeah, so you got a lot to fall back on. It's a long season and stuff like that, and I feel like the best reminders are to have something that you know. I took these off the other day, and it felt weird. It just didn't feel right. So, you know, when these bands are on me, I feel at home.
Nice, man. That's great. Thanks a lot for sitting down.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anything you need, dude.